Hello everyone and welcome to Music Teacher's Board. My name is Lee Fuge and I'm here today with musicteacher.com, and in this video we're going to look at technical exercise number 3 from the Grade 2 Contemporary Guitar exam. This exercise is going to look at dynamic changes in the piece. As you're going through the piece, you're going to be increasing the volume and intensity in which you play. We're also going to be using some techniques here such as hammer-ons, pull-offs and slides, and we're going to be jumping around the guitar neck a little bit as well. So here's the piece in full, and then we'll break it down. So this piece has a bunch of different things going on. Let's break this up into 3 4-bar sections. Each of the 4-bar sections goes up in dynamics compared to the previous section. So the first section starts with this single note phrase on the low E string. I'm starting with the 7th fret and I'm playing this on the first beat. On the second beat I'm resting, and on the third beat I'm playing the 5th fret. And then rest on the 4. So that's 1 where I'm playing the note, 2 with the rest, 3 I'm playing the next note, and then 4 another rest. The next bar is the same thing, but this time I'm playing the 3rd and 5th frets. And then in the 3rd bar I'm playing the 7th fret on the first beat and resting on the second beat. So altogether that gives us Now we come on to this melodic phrase that ends this section. So on the 3rd beat of the 3rd bar, I'm starting by doing a hammer-on from the open D to the 2nd fret. I'm playing the open string on the 3rd beat and I'm hammering on the and of 3. I'm holding that hammer-on note until the next bar. This gives me a dotted quarter note. Now entering the 2nd bar, I'm starting with an open G and doing a hammer-on to the 2nd fret. But I'm actually holding that open G for an entire beat, and then the hammer-on the 2nd fret is going to be a dotted 8th note. This takes me right up to the final 16th note of the 2nd beat, which is the 2 E and which is where my next note comes in, which is going to be the open B. Then we're going to be doing a descending run, which is also a dotted 8th and a 16th note. So I'm going to be doing a pull off this time from the 2 of the G to the open, and then I'm going to be landing on the 2nd fret of the D string to finish, which is going to be for an 8th note. When we go into this melodic phrase, we want to increase the intensity just slightly. So we're playing quiet for the single notes and slightly more intense for the melodic line. Now we're going to move into the second section. I want to increase the intensity a little bit more, so I'm getting slightly louder again. This time I'm playing exactly the same thing, but instead of playing these single notes on the low E string that we played, we're substituting them for power chords, which are going to be using the root note and a 5th above. So in this case I'm playing 7 on the E string and 9 on the A string. I'm going to be moving this shape through the same root notes, and the melodic phrase at the end is exactly the same, but this section is all played at the same dynamic level. The third and final section is notated at the same dynamic level as the previous section, but we're adding an additional note now to the power chord. So we're doing the root, the 5th, and an octave. So these are 3-note power chords now. You may find that in adding that extra note, you hear a perceived increase in dynamic. You are technically going to be playing this with the same intensity as the previous section, but that additional note can make it sound a little bit louder because there's a little bit more information going on in what you're hearing. So the initial part of this is exactly the same, but we're just adding that extra third note to the power chord. Where the change happens is in the melodic section. So this time the melodic section starts with a pull-off phrase up at the 3rd fret of the high E string. This happens on the 3rd beat of the 3rd bar. We're once again going to be doing that dotted 8th note and 16th note feel for this. So we're starting off with a dotted 8th on the 3rd fret and a 16th note on the open string, and I'm doing the same on the B string. Gives it a little bit of a swing feel. The 4th bar of this section is going to keep that dotted 8th and 16th feel. So we're going to be doing pairs of notes here, one dotted 8th and one 16th. The first pair is the 2nd fret of the G slid up to the 4th. The second pair is going to be the 3rd on the B back to the 4 of the G. Now I'm going to sustain that 4, even though it's a 16th note, and I'm going to slide it back to the 2. This is going to be the start of my 3rd pair, and I'm going to hold that for a dotted 8th before pulling off to an open string. Then I'm going to be doing the 2 on the D string, pulling that off to an open for my final pair. Then we reach the final bar of the section, which is a 2nd fret note on the D string, which is held for a half note, so that's 2 beats, and an E minor chord. So let's just look at that final descending run from the 3rd fret of the E string. So this is the 3rd beat of the 3rd bar. So that is the 3rd and final technical exercise from the Grade 2 Contemporary Guitar exam. Here's that once more in full. Now that you've learned all 3 of the technical exercises, it's time to get stuck into practicing those. Like with all the other exercises, these can be played with your pick or your fingers, and they can be played on an electric or an acoustic guitar. Take your time with this one. Make sure to pay very close attention to the dynamic markings to follow that pattern as it gets louder and quieter as you move through the piece. Don't forget to also check out the other videos from the other technical exercises included in the Grade 2 Contemporary Guitar exam. These videos are designed to help you get through these exercises and figure out the right way to play them and get the most out of your practice time. If you're looking for a guitar teacher to help you out with these exercises, please head to musicteacher.com and check out the database of great music teachers all around the UK waiting to help you guys out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.